Welcome to Strategic Faultline, where geography shapes power. Russia's logistics problem in Crimea is no longer theoretical. The land corridor is under constant drone pressure. The Kerch Bridge remains a fixed target, and now fuel tankers sent through the Sea of Azov are being hit as well. In only a few days, Ukraine says nearly 50 fuel vessels were hit or damaged. Russia temporarily halted traffic through the Don, Azov shipping channel, while the fuel and power crisis inside Crimea continued to deepen. This report examines how a peninsula connected by roads, rails, bridges, ports, fuel depots, and power lines can become a trap when every route is attacked as part of one system. Crimea is often described as a fortress. That description is useful, but incomplete. A fortress is only strong when it can be supplied. It needs fuel, electricity, spare parts, ammunition, transport, and reliable communications. Every defensive position depends on a network behind it. For Russia, that network has three main routes. The first is the land corridor across occupied southern Ukraine. Roads and railways run through the areas around Mariupol, Berdyansk, Melitopol, and the northern approaches to Crimea. This route gives Russia depth and flexibility, but it also creates a long chain of exposed movement. Ukrainian drones have increasingly targeted fuel trucks, railway infrastructure, bridges, depots, and other nodes along this corridor. One destroyed truck is a tactical loss. Repeated strikes across the network create an operational problem. The second route is the Kerch Bridge. It links Crimea directly to the Russian mainland and carries road and rail traffic across the strait. Its capacity makes it valuable. Its fixed position makes it predictable. Russia can defend the bridge, repair damaged sections, and regulate traffic, but it cannot move the bridge. Every interruption creates delays and pushes more pressure onto the remaining alternatives. The third route is maritime. When pressure increased on the land corridor and the bridge, fuel could be moved by tanker through the Sea of Azov. That solution spread the risk, but it created new bottlenecks. Ships still need predictable channels, known ports, loading points, and time alongside a terminal. Ukraine's drone forces say they struck a dozen tankers in the Sea of Azov over 2 days. Later attacks expanded the campaign. By July 10th, Ukrainian officials said nearly 50 fuel vessels had been hit or damaged in 5 days, including 10 tankers in 1 day. The full scale of the damage remains difficult to verify independently, but the operational effect is already visible. Russia temporarily suspended traffic through the Don, Azov shipping channel. New passage requests through the Kerch Strait were also halted. A route intended to relieve pressure on Crimea became another exposed part of the same logistics system. This matters because logistics depends on redundancy. One road can be repaired, one bridge can be defended, one port can continue under pressure. The real crisis begins when every alternative is attacked at the same time. If this analysis is useful, support Strategic Faultline with a like and subscribe. It helps keep these reports clear, focused, and independent. Ukraine can apply this pressure now because its drone capability has changed. This is not the result of one miracle weapon. Ukraine has built a domestic ecosystem of reconnaissance drones, mid-range strike drones, long-range one-way attack systems, launch teams, navigation tools, targeting networks, and rapidly adapted software. Many of these systems are relatively inexpensive by military standards. They do not need the destructive power of a cruise missile. They need enough range, accuracy, and persistence to hit vulnerable parts of a logistics chain. A tanker truck carries fuel but has little protection. A railway substation is fixed and difficult to replace quickly. A ship can move, but it must still enter known channels and approach known ports. This creates a favorable cost exchange. A relatively low-cost drone can force Russia to spend far more on air defense, escorts, repairs, route changes, delays, and replacement equipment. Even when a drone does not destroy its target, it can interrupt movement and increase the cost of keeping the system open. The technology also works at several distances. Mid-range drones pressure the occupied land corridor, fuel trucks, bridges, and railway links behind the front. Longer-range systems strike refineries, storage sites, ports, and energy infrastructure deeper inside Russia. The result is one connected campaign. Long-range strikes reduce the amount of fuel Russia can produce and distribute. Mid-range strikes make the remaining fuel harder to move toward Crimea. Maritime attacks now pressure the ships used as an emergency alternative. This is why the Sea of Azov escalation matters. Russia is not simply losing one supply route. It is losing the ability to move easily from one route to another. The pressure is also spreading beyond transport. Crimea has faced fuel rationing, interrupted civilian sales, and warnings from Russian-installed authorities that fuel may not be freely available on some days. Parts of the peninsula have also experienced blackouts after strikes on electrical substations and other energy infrastructure. Fuel and electricity are connected. Fuel powers trucks, generators, maintenance vehicles, and emergency systems. Electricity runs pumps, rail signals, communications, repair facilities, radar support, and port operations. When power becomes unreliable, more generators are needed. When generators are needed, more fuel is consumed. When fuel transport is disrupted, every reserve becomes more valuable. That creates a cycle of pressure. Russia can respond. It can move more air defenses toward Crimea and the Sea of Azov. It can escort convoys, disperse fuel storage, use smaller shipments, repair bridges, build temporary crossings, and move traffic at night. But every response has a cost. Air defenses protecting tankers and ports are not protecting refineries, airfields, or cities elsewhere. Smaller shipments reduce the loss from one strike, but require more trips. Temporary crossings restore movement, but carry less traffic. Longer routes consume more fuel and expose more vehicles. The geography does not make Crimea impossible to hold. It makes Crimea expensive to sustain under continuous attack. That is the strategic point. The Kerch Bridge is not the entire problem. The land corridor is not the entire problem. The Sea of Azov is not the entire problem. The problem is the network. Roads, railways, bridges, ports, tankers, fuel depots, power substation, repair crews, and air defenses all depend on one another. When those elements are attacked as one connected system, redundancy begins to collapse. Every remaining route becomes more important. And because it becomes more important, it also becomes more exposed. Crimea may still look like a fortress on the map. But a fortress with shrinking fuel supplies, unstable power, disrupted shipping, and threatened land routes is also a logistics trap. If this report helped clarify the issue, subscribe to Strategic Faultline and share your view in the comments. The next report will follow another pressure point in global power.